First exercise we're gonna do is a wall dead bug. So to set up for this, we wanna get a decent distance from the wall. So our elbows are at about 90 degrees. Now our elbows are gonna be kind of close grip. We don't wanna be real wide out here. From here, we're gonna push and actively push into the wall. That's gonna help fire up the lats. From here, starting position, we wanna make sure our knees are directly up over our hips, not coming up too far, being quad dominant. A lot of people will cheat that way. So keep knee over hip. I'm pushing into the wall, my abs are nice and tight, and I wanna make sure there's no gap between my lower back and the ground. From there, I'm gonna keep my abs on nice and tight, and I'm gonna lower one leg down into full extension, all the way down to the ground. We're gonna go 5 each side. Next one we have is ASLR, active straight leg raise. So the setup for this one is going to be the same as a wall dead bug, making sure our abs are on nice and tight. For this one, you don't want to let clients cheat and put their hands under their butt. So your hands will either be out to the side or even make them put them out into a T. From there, you're going to keep your knees straight, pulling your toes to shin. Make sure those abs are nice and tight, and we're going to lower one leg down at a time. As you can see, I'm already shaking. It doesn't take much for this exercise to be difficult. And we're gonna go 5 on each side. Next exercise we have is a frog sitting T-spine. So the idea for this one is you wanna be in external rotation as far as you can. As we sit back, we're going to push back so you can feel a little bit of a stretch right there in our hips. Then I'm gonna come down, keeping my elbows down to the ground. I'm gonna start off putting one hand on my head. I'm gonna turn all the way up, trying to get that arm up as high as I can. Also looking out for any asymmetries side to side in this position, and we're gonna go again 5 on each side. This one we have is a scap push-up, basically to get clients to understand how to move their shoulder blades or their scaps and not row and do everything with their traps. So the idea, we're gonna start off in a quadruped position, hands directly under shoulders, knees directly under hips, and I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together and drive them all the way up, making sure I'm not using my traps. My elbows stay fully extended. I'm getting complete range of motion through my scapulars. You wanna make this harder, we're gonna go into a push-up position, high plank, and perform the same movement, now with a little more difficulty in control. Next one we have, guys, is a half kneeling, meaning we're down on one knee. Tall kneeling would be both knees down. So from a half kneeling position, we want to make sure we're squeezing our abs. I'm going to fire my glute and drive my hips forward, making sure my spine stays in a nice straight position and I'm not going to hyperextension. I'm going to squeeze and drive forward, let go and relax, reset, squeeze, and go again. We're going to go 5 times on each side. Now we can also make this a little progressively harder and add in a psoas stretch as well. So I'm going to reset the exact same way, get into that position, leaning forward, and I'm going to bring one arm up and over and turn and twist and hit that psoas, which is also a hip flexor, on the other side. One more time, and then lean. If you're tight, you'll feel it all the way up to about your rib cage. From this position, now we're going to come down into a low lunge. So I'm going to extend this back leg, keeping my hand right here on this foot, driving this knee out, making sure, again, I'm squeezing my abs and glutes on this side. My hand will be just on the outside of my shoulder, keeping my lower back nice and still, and I'm going to lean and get some T-spine twist all the way up and through, up as high as I can, and then I'll switch. Same again, making sure abs and glutes are on, turn and twist. Up as high as I can. We're going to go 5 times each side. With shoulder rotation. So to make it a little more difficult, we can actually do a push-up. We'd be nice and wide. Again, abs on glutes on, nice strong plank position. Come down into our push-up, elbows nice and close together. We're going to rotate around, and notice I'm not letting my hips move as I come down into that shoulder rotation, to make sure I'm getting co-contraction in the abs and glutes to help out with my stability. We're gonna go into a lunge position and turn and twist. Again, making sure abs and glutes are nice and tight. I don't want any instability there of the hips. I'm just gonna turn to each side. To make it a little easier, I can add in some clock arms as well to get a little bit more T-spine. But the key here is stabilizing right here, firing up the abs and glutes, and getting that range of motion through the lower back there.